I'm actually on a mission, man, you know? Like, I don't even think comedy is my calling in life. I think I'm meant for something greater. Like, I had a vision the other night, it came to me. I think my mission in life is to help white people. Like, really, I want to feel comfortable enough to walk in your house unannounced at 3 o'clock in the morning. Just wake you up and go, come with me. Like comics, we don't do shit when we're on the road except stay in the hotel room and watch TV. And I'm flipping through some of the stations and I'm watching these programs like Oprah and Phil, and I'm seeing some of y'all's kids is out of fucking control. I really want to ask white people, I've always been curious, why don't y'all just beat your kids, man? Beat them, whoop they motherfucking ass. Y'all give y'all kids all kind of timeouts and special places. The fuck is a special place? To a black child, that's a coma. What is a special place? Black kids don't know shit about timeout. We know about getting knocked the fuck out. That's it. My mother used to slap the shit out of me in public, and I would look at people for help. Like, shut up. White people felt my pain. Oh my God. She just struck her child. Black people see black kids get hit, we be like, hey, get your shit together. Black people will beat other people's kids if they fucking up too bad. Like, miss, you need to whoop this ugly motherfucker. Put that shit down. Here's my website, email, home address. Call me. I'll fuck him up anytime you need. You ain't got to kill him. Just watch him turn red. Just put this motherfucker. Just choke him out. You know what I found out growing up? Totally shocked me. White kids are just as shocked to find out black kids don't talk back to their parents as we are when we hear them talk back to theirs. So I used to have a little buddy would come over my house on the weekends, little Nate. We'd be in my room playing video games. My mother used to come in the room on us, cuss me out for no reason. Just scare the shit out of both of us. We'd be in the room playing Mario Brothers. She'd come kick open the door like SWAT. We'd be on level 4. She'd, Harris, how many times I done told you to clean this motherfucking room? Cut that goddamn game off and clean this room. I come back, this motherfucking room ain't clean. I'm gonna take that Nintendo cord, wrap it around your neck and stick it in your ass. Nigga, I ain't playing with you. This ain't no threat. This is a promise. Try me, motherfucker. Try me. My white friend would turn to me offended like, dude, what the fuck? She can't do that, man. This is your space. This is your area. She's violating your right to privacy. You should say something. You want me to go say something? I'd be so scared. I started talking to him like a slave from Roots. Like, you was gonna get me in trouble. I like you, Nate. I really do. And my parents is good black folk. They gives me food. They gives me sleeps. You get away from around here with that foolishness. Go on, get from here. Oh, Lord. My mother smacked the shit out of the white boy. He turned into me. Wet in the water. My mother was a champ at whooping ass too, man. She had a gold belt and everything. I remember one time I stole a bike and she had to leave her job to get me out of jail. You know, you grew up in a single parent household with a black woman and she got to leave work to get you out. I knew I was going to that special place. I knew the ass whooping was serious because when we got home, she took her work clothes off and put on a jogging suit and headband. Like, what kind of ass whooping is that you prepared to sweat? She had a stopwatch and a bottle of Gatorade with the belt. I said, at some point, this bitch is fitting to refuel on this ass whooping. I think my mother took special joy out of fucking me up too, man. Because she came up with unconventional methods of whooping ass. Shit that I knew far exceeded normal and necessary. Like, I remember one time she woke me up out my sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, you ever been woken up out your sleep? You know, when that light hits you, it take you a second to get your shit together. You be discombobulated. And I'm 8. She came in, kicked the side of the bed. Nigga, get the fuck up. You thought I forgot about that shit you did earlier. You gonna go and get suspended from that private school where I make all that money and work 2 hard jobs, and you gonna get suspended by telling the teacher to suck your dick? Here, put this on. And she threw some boxing headgear at me. You know that leather helmet boxers be wearing for practice fights? I'm like, Mom, why I'm putting on boxing headgear? She said, because I'm gonna hit you in the head with a pipe and I don't wanna kill you. Because you my baby, I love you.
Alright, y'all. Welcome, family. Another episode of the Black Elephant Podcast. Glad to be back. Glad to have everybody back. We at the Bus Boys and Poets in Tacoma Park, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna introduce some of the usual suspects. We have definitely a special guest well, not the house, but in the energy and the aura tonight. So I'm Zeke or whatever, and our special guest. Go ahead.
I'm Jeff. Really excited to be on the Black Elephant Podcast. Looking to have some good conversations with these fellas.
Yeah, what's up? This is Josiah. Happy to be here. Looking forward to having great conversations.
Yo, this is Dre, back again. Time to give it to you live, Black Elephant.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy K-Dub, BMV CEO. Glad to be back. We should have a good one tonight. Let's get it going.
All right, and just to let all the viewers know, and Jeff, to remind you, for the second half, you're gonna bring us in and talk about, everything you do and why we're even bringing you on.
Sounds good.
Okay, so the topic for tonight, this episode, we're talking about the interaction between black parents and their children, the difference between that and how white kids grow up and their interaction with their parents. So we basically talking about kids and their folks. So matter of fact, Dre, we gonna let you hit us off first. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I thought about this topic because I work at a pediatrics doctor's office. A lot of kids come through the jump. And I definitely see the difference in the interaction. White kids are so much more disrespectful, with almost to no regard, for their authority, for their parents that, raise them, that give them everything that they want. It's crazy to me. And just even seeing how their parents react to their disrespect. It's like they're patient with them. I mean, not to say that you shouldn't be, but if you have a child and they disrespect you, like, you have the right and the authority to, tighten them up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I never witnessed that with any of the black kids that come through the doctor's office because they know. They know not to disrespect mom. They know not to disrespect dad. They know not to disrespect other adults or people, period. They got some white folks coming in there. I greet them. Hey, how you doing? How you feeling today? They just look at me and don't even say nothing. I'm just like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, you know what I'm saying? You're going to get a Bentley when you're 18. Like, why are you mad? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy. I just can't understand it, And there was actually a situation, I do want to share this, a situation where a kid came in with his mom, had to get a vaccine shot, routine, just to keep his punk ass healthy. You know what I'm saying? And this kid, like, he was irate. He didn't want to do it. He got in his mom's face and actually, like, bumped her, like, pushed her. Not like a chest bump like you scored a touchdown. We're talking like I'm ready to go toe-to-toe with you. Because he didn't want to do it. And I'm just like, dude, your mom is paying for this, first of all. And it's to keep you healthy. You know what I'm saying? And the nurse was taken back by it. She was just like, yo, she had to say something. Because it's just like, she's not used to that. This is a black nurse. So clearly her kids don't behave like that because they will get smacked down. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, the mom really didn't even do anything. The mom actually even told the nurse that she was scared. Why are you scared of your own kid, first of all? That's a problem in itself. You know what I'm saying? And then there was another situation where a nanny, not even a parent or, mother of these two sons, she was a nanny. They were coming in, all rambunctious, doing everything that kids do. And she just said, hey, sit down. And they instantly stopped and sat their ass down. So I find that interesting, how the different level of, raising youth and different things like that. Definitely, it plays a role in how we grow up, to how they grow up. Of course, the situations are different with the amount of money that their parents make and where they live, where they go to school, But as far as the interaction, it's definitely different. And not to say that we should emulate, everything that they do, but there are definitely things that white parents do that would benefit, in my opinion, black kids and things like that. Just, letting them explore a little more, letting them be open to give their opinions on different things. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, a lot of times not everybody, but a lot of black parents rule with an iron fist, and I personally think that's not good to a certain extent. Because now you're just training your kids to be aggressive, to be angry all the time, and that's never good for life and for getting jobs and for having friends and building relationships and different things like that. So I think we can learn from them, not necessarily emulate everything, but there are definitely things that we can learn from them. So
I want to explore a different aspect of the relationship between the kids, black kids' parents, white kids' parents, and even other races in general. One of my good friends, she's a real estate agent, and the other day I was having a conversation with her. She's a black parent, she's Nigerian. Her daughter is 17 years old, and she told me something. She said, Jeff, I just got her a credit card, and when I go to the gas station, I'm going to swipe and things like that. I'm going to build her credit. I'm going to lay the foundation of a financial future for her. So I'm going to lay the foundation of finances for her. So in the future, she has to buy a car, or get a house, or something. She has that history. She has a certain level of comfort and knows and understands finances, like exposing her to that aspect of real life. Because when you get out of college and things like that, when you're gonna get a car, you want to check your credit, you want to get a house, apartment, you have to have a basic setting of finances. And I think that's something that, in general, I think white parents do better and lay that foundation better than black kids.
one thing we can learn.
The kids gets a car, say 18 or something, I have co-signed this for you or something, you're already building this kind of history. So when you get out, you don't have to get a car with 24% interest rate, and that foundation is there already, even though the kid didn't have to do anything. It's in the lineage of the family, that I help you out with this and this and this, teaching you, nurturing you. So when you get out there, you have your own kids, you have that. See, little things like this, I think, builds more stability in each individual family and each culture as well. And I was really excited that Nigerian lady, just doing that for her daughter. I was like, man, that is so great. This is something that more kids, more black kids have to be exposed to. They have to understand this. They have to understand investing. I just learned, investment and things like that from my uncle just not too long ago, just to understand that, have basic knowledge and aspire to do that, willingly aspire to do that. That's something that most of the time, even some of my friends, we don't have that conversation often. I've never been exposed to that. Being exposed to that is definitely a breath of fresh air. And I think it's something that if we try to instill in our culture, we'll be very positive. Because when you get out there, everything, the language you're going to speak is going to be about what financial history you have, what cash you have, what equity you have, what this you have. And once you understand money, then you're going to understand how the structure, the social structure, and everything else works. And then when you have that kind of power, you can actually speak and people will listen. So I think it's very important that we all educate ourselves on that.
Jump in on that. That goes back to a conversation, a consistent conversation I always have. When I like 10 years ago, a woman told me, one of the main differences between black families and white families is not just structure and things like that, but generations of stability. And it goes into the finances and things like that, but also be able to be taught. White families, a lot of them have generational money, generational structure, things like that. Their parents are already in a set position financially, they're stable to where they can give their children. A lot of black families still get it together themselves. They may not have the structure or the capabilities to give to their children. They may not have the know-how and the knowledge and things like that. So for me, and I looked into this for a while, and I remember it goes back to the deterioration of the black family going back several generations now. Dads aren't there, moms, trying to make it happen, things like that. The family structure has collapsed. Then in turn, the teaching, the morality, all those things that the children and things like that are supposed to get passed down from generation to generation, it's not there anymore. So what happens is kids are learning everything on their own. Then they're growing up and now they're having children and their children are trying to do it. So now we have this generational cycle of people just trying to figure it out, and there's no guidance from up top. And part of that stability comes from that lack of parent and things like that. And it may not be because their parents are inadequate, like they just don't know. It just may be because the structure may not be there. You know, I know especially for men, black men, we used to get that from dad. Dad was the person who would pass that stuff down. That was our role model. That's the person we emulated. But when he's not there, who do we emulate? You know, where do we get that from? Then we also have people in the communities, coaches, teachers, mentors, stuff like that. Those things are drying up too, not like how they used to be. So we're not getting those lessons. We're not getting that structure, that support to set us up and put us in that position. I can tell you, me personally, I ain't get it together till I was like almost 30. Why? Because I had no one teaching me. I took my lumps for 10 years trying to figure it out, learn. Oh, credit, what's this? Messed up. Now I got to get it together and get out that funk. Did it on my own. You know, I ain't have a family to be able to help me out. Like, honestly, I was helping them out. I was paying my people's bills, you know? Like, so those things, to me, that's a major difference when you have people that can set them up. Another lady told me too, you know, like, it's a huge advantage to be able to come out of college debt free and not have to worry about buying a house and stuff like that, because you got your people's old house that was paid for that you can live in now. How many of us have that? We didn't have stuff like that, you know? So just on that, the talking about, like, I guess wealth and structure like that, those are two major huge advantages. I mean that a lot of us don't have that we didn't have. So it's my piece.
Yeah, I guess that's a good. I wanted to piggyback on what you said, because I was gonna talk to what Dre said and also to what Jeff said, just in terms of there's always gonna be issues trying to raise African kids in this society. So that's always gonna be the difference there. Number one, the society isn't built for African people. So when we're talking about business or we're talking about investing, these are all systems that are literally foreign to not only the way we think, I would say, but just our essence. We're not really a capitalistic people. We're more of a bartering people. Then, just like you were saying, with the knowing how to invest and all of that, the average wealth of a black family, I think the last time they took the statistic was like 2000, I want to say 13 or something like that. It's not too long ago, but it's $11,000, $11,650, something like that. That's the average wealth. So it's like, even if a black child knew how to invest, it's like, what would they be investing? What would they be using to invest when that's the average wealth? We don't have any inheritance. We don't pass anything down. Another thing too that I want to say is, like, I feel like when we get entangled in trying to take the same steps or follow the protocol, the rules change at any given time. One, because you remember they said if you graduate, there was a time if you graduated high school in this country, it was like, hey, you can find your way. Then it was if you graduate college. Now it's, oh, that first degree ain't gonna do you nothing. You gotta at least go for your so the protocol is never actually a protocol. These are fleeting goalposts in terms of, they're not stationary. They can move at any time. And when you understand that the average wealth of a black family is $11,000, and then you understand how much tuition is for a year, then you see how that debt game comes into play. So it's like, that makes it even harder to invest. You see what I'm saying? It's like the whole thing is really rigged for us. So that's what go ahead though.
Okay, so I think you guys brought up some great points. But I just want to take it back a little bit about the whole idea of the interaction between parent and child, black and non-black. And one thing I want to say that there is a lot of great qualities when it comes to a black family and raising black kids. And of course, like Kenny mentioned, one of our greatest downfall is a lack of having a father figure in the household. I think that plays a major role in a child's behavior at a young age, which leads into how they behave in an older age. In a non-black household, whether it's Hispanic, white, Asian, I want to say majority of the time, there's both mom and dad there. So it makes the job a little bit much easier. Of course, the financial background plays a role too. But the respect level, as far as how the kids interact with the parents, when it comes to the black kids, I believe that the respect level is there a little bit more. Even though, for the simple fact that fathers are missing majority of the time in those households, they're being raised by strong mothers. And I, for one, can say that. I grew up in a household without a father, but I had a mom who ruled with an iron fist. And there's no way I could have got out of line with this woman. And not only a black mom, a black Caribbean mom.
There's a difference.
There's a big difference. And she don't play. So I had no choice but to respect her. And then the way I was raised by her, not just by her, but other family members, we just had that natural respect for our parents. I've noticed with the way white kids interact with their parents is a little bit different. They seem to be a little bit more freer to express themselves, a little bit more freer to be themselves, which is good. But to a degree, you have to set a certain boundary when it comes to that, because when you're dealing with kids, you have to understand that a child doesn't grasp the full idea of how to respect an adult unless that adult lays down that law and enforces that law. So in return, you realize that a lot of kids who are not from the black family tend to be a little bit more disrespectful towards their parents. They lash out a little bit more. If they don't get things going their way, they get very angry, sometimes violent. I mean, how many times have we heard in the news where these kids grow up and murder their parents? I dare not think of trying to do something like that to my mom. I'll tell you that right now. I mean, that's just not happening. But yeah, there's definitely benefits on both sides. One, for example, like what Jeff brought up, the whole financial thing. I think if it's one thing that they're good at, they're very good white family. They're very good at creating that financial foundation for their kids, so that when they get out of high school or college or whatever, they can hit the ground running. Then again, going back to what Kenny said, black families don't have that type of stability. So we're always playing the catch-up game. Yeah. And it goes from generation to generation to generation. My mom was trying to catch up, and she wasn't able to do that. So now in turn, I'm trying to catch up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we're always at least 2 steps behind. Yeah. But it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. I know you've heard me in other podcasts. I always bring up the fact that everything starts at home. And it's no secret, okay? It's not like there's some secret plan on how they raise their kids that we don't know. Yeah. It's no secret. It's just a matter of taking the initiative. I mean, I've had times where I've seen black family, well, not that black family, I would see a black child interacting with a black mom, and the mom would yell and scream and sometimes cuss out the child. And in my mind, I'm like, that's not the way to get the child to respect you. You put a little fear in the kid, but you're destroying that kid on the inside. And this is why these kids grow up with these type of aggressions. When you're out there yelling and screaming and cursing out a 4 or 5-year-old, you do not understand the mental and emotional scar you're putting on this child. And then when this child grows up to be a teenager, they're always ready to lash out. They might lash out at a parent, but they'll lash out at society. Now, when you flip the script and you look at a white family, they don't cuss out their kids. They have a way of reasoning with it, you know, and that in turn, the child doesn't have this built-up anger in them. Now, they might have the built-up anger in them to lash out to society, but at the same time, when you're too soft on them, then they lose that respect for you.
Yeah.
So you have to find that middle ground where you can be firm and respectable to a child, but still show a little bit of compassion towards them without creating that. I can't think of the word right now, but without creating that sense of anger and wanting to lash out. You know, so we can learn from both. You know, there's something they can learn from us on how to raise kids. There's something we can learn from them on how to raise kids.
Yeah, definitely piggybacking on that. I'm trying to pick where I read this from, but I read a couple years ago. Someone said, white children are raised for success. Black children are raised for survival. And to me, that meant that, you know, if you see white families interact, they're trying to put their children in positions of success. Mm-hmm. So sometimes they almost treat them like equals, you know, where it's almost like a playing and the communication and things like that, especially as they get older, you know, they're able to communicate more on an equal level. Mm-hmm. Whereas a lot of black children, we're raised for survival. We're raised for things to get the tools and skills that you need to be able to survive in this culture. And even like what Zeke was saying, a culture that is necessarily not designed for us, you know. So things like respect, discipline, being able to be independent and things like that, those things are instilled in us at a young age. So it's not necessarily about, you know, I'm pretty sure every black parent wants their child to be successful, but they're also raised them based on their experiences and their upbringing and their mentality and stuff as well too. So I agree with you. There's definitely both we can learn from each other, but I think it's you know, we're coming from two totally different levels when we see the different types of interaction, you know.
I think it's important to just know like the full context of everything. So like when you talking about just like he said with the race for success and race for survival, when let me hold off on that point for a minute. Let me just say, when you have black parents, for example, cussing out their kids or whatever, we got to understand that like it's only 3 generations from like that parent to where their ancestor or whatever was basically taught and raised by a slave owner, you know. So all the violence, all the trauma, and this is I guess transgenerational behavior, you know what I'm saying, that's passed down. The fact that like we can't be as free with our kids, you know, we don't have the luxury of making as many mistakes in this society. White kids don't even really have to be raised for success. They just have to be raised not to be a degenerative person, and then they can usually find their way, you know, in life. And so I mean, I feel like it's not really there are tactics that we can employ, but I feel like the main point is really knowing what is the main. When we're raising our children, we're raising them to actually do what? That has to be the fundamental question, and then from there we can move forward.
Yeah, that's a good point, Zeke. I definitely think, well, again, not to all, but white folk, they do have a better idea of what they want for their kids, you know, and not only that, they're willing to go great lengths for them to get there. You know, I'm not gonna get too personal, but you know, me and my own situation, I love my father to death for sure, because he's my father at the end of the day, but he's a very selfish individual. You know, he engaged in things that only ended up being a detriment. One of them, gambling. Like, that right there infuriates me, because it's like you're essentially giving away all this money that could have been used for the growth of me and my siblings. Who knows where we could be right now? And I don't even want to throw out the figure of how much money was lost by my father and my grandmother gambling. Like, I have vowed to never step foot in one of those places. I think it's an absolute trap. All the way trap. The lotto, it's a trap. Read up what that is about. It is an absolute scheme to swindle you of your money. There's no way that you're going to win. You know what I'm saying? And coincidentally, the one who does win, he already has a bank account full of money. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, this isn't set up for us. You know what I'm saying? So we have to get to a point where we, you know, again, like Zeke had alluded to, we got to know what we're raising up our kids to do, to become, to have, to own, to conquer. We have to solidify that in concrete, so then we know how we should behave as a parent in order to get them there. Because again, the child doesn't raise themselves, the parent does. So whatever the child becomes, it's because of that parent, more often than not. You know, so, and respect to mainly all the brothers, you know, the black men who aren't in, you know, their kids' lives, not that they don't want to be, but because, yeah, you have a mother who is aiding and helping the system set in place to crush us. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, now we put the black men in a situation where it's so much harder. You know, they're not in their kids' lives, and they need to be, you know, because like it's always said, it takes two to tango. It takes two to raise one. It takes two to make one, so it takes two to raise one. You know, so we gotta do better. You know, we gotta not be selfish. We gotta wanna raise our kids to dominate and to conquer like how we know we can. If we can dominate in sports, why can't we dominate in everything else? We're not incompetent. We're actually very wise. So let's use that wisdom.
To probably top it off, because we've been on the segment. What I am going to say is, when you're raising a child, right, there's some virtues that transcends race and culture and wealth and everything. Those are the simple things that go a long way. Respect, courage, honesty, integrity. When you put those virtues into a kid, you're automatically giving him the most important foundation to be successful outside of the home. And regardless of looking at everything else, and I agree with some of the things that are said, you know, survival or success and all of that, I think if you just empower your kid with those virtues, with those foundations, to make sure they can look in the mirror and say, hey, look, I respect other people, and I have the respect of other people. You know, I am honest. When I look at myself, I have a sense of myself. You know, I have I'm confident about my person. You know, when you get out there, things sort out. So you have to just create an individual, raise an individual who's going to go out there and has a great sense of security, is validated from the home. And it goes back to black man validation. That kid is already validated. So when they go outside, they don't have to kowtow to anybody to get their way up in life. This person knows what already they'll work. So those fundamental virtues, I think, goes along whether you're black, you're white, you're Asian, you're Hispanic, whatever you are, wherever you're from. I think that's a very important virtue to instill in your kids.
All right, and with that, we are going to be going to break. So we'll come back after the break, and then we'll have you talk about what you do and everything to bring us back.
Excited to, man.
All right, bet.
Yeah. Alhaji, Takino, yo, whoa na, eh. Say the love I dey see by your eyes, oh. Yo, I love you, baby, I don't think I'm twice. Your beauty making me to realize, baby, say never, don't bring it light. Say you must marry me, you go love me. Baby, I go look your face, baby loving me, touching me. Say you must marry me. You go love me. You go kill me, baby. You go follow me. You're my remedy. You're my melody. The baby na harmony. You go give me, baby Palanga. I will show you love that you never see. Palanga, and you're the mother of my two baby. Baby Palanga, and if we like, we make a three baby. Baby Palanga, I will love you forever. Oh na na, duro. Zaga, duro. Kublan, yeah. Oluti, dance. Oluti, bless. Oluti, tada. That you love me. Neka, dance. Chiamae, grace. I say, shaka. That you love me. Say you must marry me. You go love me. You go kill me, baby. You go follow me. You're my remedy. You're my melody. The baby na harmony. You go give me, baby Palanga. I will show you love that you never see. Palanga, and you're the mother of my two baby. Baby Palanga, and if we like, we make a three baby. Baby Palanga, I will love you forever. Oh na na, duro.
Mix monster, mix monster.
Yo, what's going on? This your boy behind the scenes of the Black Elephant Podcast. What's up? Upcoming events and announcements I'm bringing you today. An evening with Kim Coles, October 29th at the Crampton Auditorium, Howard University. Best known for her 5-season turn as the unforgettable Sinclair on Fox's groundbreaking comedy series, Living Single. Kim Coles has starred on numerous television programs. In her latest venture, Kim Coles is combining comedy and inspiration to empower others with her unique program called Open the Gifts. Through the speaking engagements, live events, workshops, and products, the program inspires others to discover their own gifts so they may share it with the world. For tickets, hit up 202-397-7328. That's 202-397-7328. National Conference on Gentrification and Destruction of Black Washington, D.C., November 5th, 2016 at Columbia Heights Educational Center. On November 5th and 6th, 2016, the Coalition for Protecting Black Lives, along with Black Lawyers for Justice, will promote a 2-day Powernomic weekend to encourage Black citizens to support Black businesses and buy Black products in Washington, D.C. and the nation. The conference will present the brightest Black minds to collaborate and formulate solutions to create issues forced upon every Black citizen. Now that's all for this week. Now back to the Black Elephant Podcast, and we see you next week. Pow.
All right, welcome back, my African Black family. Black Elephant Podcast is back, and now we have Jeff, and he's gonna talk to us and let us know a little bit about what he's doing and what he's been working on and what he's built. Let's hear it.
Oh man, where do I start? I don't know if I've built something great, but definitely I envision something.
It's great, brother. It's great.
I envision something a lot greater. I'm Jeff. I'm from Ghana. Man, I got into the health and fitness industry. I had just turned 19 years old. I worked at the gym, and I picked a lot of pieces here and there. I learned a lot how to interact with people. That to me is one of the foundations of anything, human relations, just understanding what people are always trying to tell you something, get a message to you. Somebody's just working out with you, that's just not the foundation of it. They want you to help them to do something, maybe help, not just lose weight. People want to talk to you about their life. They want to feel free in a sense. And it's one thing I realize is that all human beings need salvation. Like, we all want to get to this level where we feel ourselves is great, So it's something that ran through my mind. These are thoughts I probably never shared with anybody, but things that ran through my mind here and there. And these are questions I ask myself, because you need salvation, Jeff. Like, you need to get to a point where you feel yourself. One way I thought I could do that was to start something that I could call my own. Put my signature on it. But I didn't want something to be my own. I wanted it to also be a community thing. Something that feels like we support this. There are a lot of ideas behind it. So I started Elite Bodies, and actually the name Elite Bodies is not something I came up with. I was sitting up with Josiah, actually, my friend Juan, trying to come up with names of a business. And actually my friend Juan came up with this Elite Bodies. It was a business I owned, but then I heard the name, I was like, I'll fly with that. So when I tell the story, I can say it was pitched in from here, it was pitched in from there. So what my business is, the model I do is simple. It's small group fitness. Okay, us here at this table right now, we could start a workout, and it would be something that would embody the brand that I'm trying to do, just to work out with each other. Okay, I'm the centerpiece. I'll be the trainer. I will guide us. But then again, you're not just working out, getting guidance from Jeff. We're drawing motivation from Zeke. Okay. Or you see Andre pushing, you want to compete with Andre to get out there. You want to get to where he's feeling. You see another person who's in the class who's a certain shape you aspire to be, you go ahead and you push for it. Okay. So that's the idea of the small group fitness I have. And in theory, it's easy to push, but then when you start to build it, it takes knowing how to deal with a human being to get them to even be comfortable with working out with each other. Okay, so I created a light setting, you come in, I'll be myself. I'll tell you I'm a corny guy. I'll tell you the silly jokes. I'll tell you the thing. But then again, the reason you're walking is you're going to have the workout of your life. I'm going to kick your butt. I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to challenge your mind. I'm going to challenge your brain, everything you stand for. And I'm going to build a sense of community. Okay, so when you come in, this person you see here, you might just meet them outside and say, hey, let's go running together. Hey, let's do business together. So that's another thing I wanted to create with my clients. Is something, a program I'm starting to push more, is we're going to start doing more in-house building. Most of the people who patronize my business will be, will have some sort of their own business. Some people may be lawyers, accountants, doctors, things like that. And most of the time, me, Jeff, I'm being the beneficiary of that because I'm the centerpiece. So the one thing I've been pushing more is build a community where people are interacting with each other. If I need a house, I have a realtor right here who's working out next to me. So I'm building that sense of camaraderie through fitness. And fitness is something that's been overlooked, but I feel like it's a great way to bond with each other. Work out with your boys and just see how you feel. Go out, you feel like, man, this guy, I went and did something with him that was hard. I can fight with this guy. I can fight with this lady. I can do this with this person. So that's a business that I'm trying to create. My vision is big, but then again, one thing I like about my vision is it's always evolving. It's never the same thing. Sometimes it becomes a larger scale, and sometimes I'm like, I'll take a grassroots, see how it flies. See how the people interact, because again, you want to keep that sense of community. Okay. And then to create something that's formidable enough, that's recognizable enough that people can say, hey, look, what we're doing now is primitive. This is the new way to do things. We're globalizing our world. We want to make our world a little bit smaller. We want to interact with each other a little bit differently while pushing a healthier initiative. Right? If you work out with somebody, if you laugh with somebody, they're your friend. If you work out with somebody, you break a sweat with somebody, they're more than just a friend.
Yeah.
You can trust. You can trust them. So there are a lot of interactions that goes on, and that's the backbone of elite bodies. It's strength training. Okay, we're going to lift. We're going to work out in a high intensity setting. I also teach boxing. I want to challenge. I want to challenge your balance. I want to challenge your coordination, balance, agility, flexibility, all the different facets of your fitness. I want to put into question, and then gradually, I want to build that up. I want you, the person, to feel like your being, can survive. I can say, hey, I'm gonna run 10 miles. Naturally, the thought of that just doesn't faze you. You're like, this body is equipped for that. Yeah, this body is equipped for that, and it feels so much better when you have people supporting you. So that's the model I have right now. Every day it keeps changing. Every day new. I get ideas from people. Sometimes my clients, and they're like, hey Jeff, why don't you add this piece to it? We just released an app. And it's literally, the idea was something my clients is just like, sometimes they come to a point where they want to tutor me as a young man to help me do better in business. They're like, you know what, Jeff, if you did this, I think this will help. If we have a way where we can schedule our appointments online so you know who's coming, then the workouts can go this way, then this one. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. And then you do it. I'm at the bottom of the food chain in the business, even though I own it. I've made it such that it's an open thing. I want to have a room where I'm shouting to people who I work out with. They're on the walls, like, I did this for the business. I'm the one who came up with this. I shout my people up. I lost this amount of weight, doing something. I questioned this. We built a program. And it's really a community thing. It's not something that's restricted to me. I'm more than excited to share my expertise of fitness with people. I'm also willing to learn from people, and I want us to learn from each other. So that's what Elite Bodies is in a nutshell. We're small right now. We're gaining a lot of attention in the DMV area. And my vision is this finishing this year really strong, in 2017, just really come out really strong. And I'm definitely excited at the prospect of that. I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay, sounds good. That's great, Jeff. And I've actually worked out with Jeff before, and this guy's the real deal. I have a question for you, though, along the lines of health and fitness. I know with Elite Bodies, you train a variety of people. But I wanted to ask you, what do you think currently would be one of the greatest health/fitness issue facing not just necessarily people, but as far as in the Black community? What do you think one of our biggest health issue is, and what can we do to correct that?
Good question. Hypertension. I mean, it's actually proven that people of color have more of a tendency, things like high blood pressure, diabetes. We have certain underlying causes in our. I don't necessarily know if it's genetic, but the studies show that we're more susceptible to having certain kinds of diseases and things like that. This is studied, and this is published. So it could. I don't want to believe it's genetic. I don't know the research. I don't think it's genetic. I just think it might be a way of life. We just have to sometimes stay more active, eating healthier. If you're working hard, it's hard to have a good meal to eat. Sometimes you might want to eat fast. So it's something that we can all do to change. And I think when we do that, we'll be in great shape.
Just trying to figure out more. How can we find you? If somebody wanted to join, how can we get out to you? How can we reach you?
So this is my website. Please check it out. It's www.elitebodies.net.
Okay.
ELITEBODIES.net. That's my website. You will find all the information you need to know about my business and more. over there, I mean, literally, you find my cell phone number. You can contact me anytime. You can ask me for tips, you know, how you can get in shape, there's little ideas, how you can even prep your mind to get in shape. Because one thing people do, which is funny, is the average person who's not working out is actually intimidated about working out. That's a problem. You know, they want to know it's something that they can do. And I promise you, you can do. So just get in the mind frame of change. Get in the mind frame of, I want to start something to jumpstart my system. If you're asking the question about fitness, if you think you need to get yourself in shape, you need to get yourself in shape. If your mind is going there and saying, hey, maybe I need to explore health, then you absolutely need it. Something that's missing in your routine that I think, you know, you need to take care of. You need to do that. It's just proven to be great for your brain. So if you're working, you know, all day long, you're stressed, you're mentally exhausted, things like something like working out, just keeps those endorphins flowing. It gets your confidence up. It gets your mind flowing because you're investing in yourself. And that's the best thing. You're investing in yourself.
Best investment ever.
It's a great investment, and I think that's important for. That's all you get to. That's good.
Man, appreciate it so much, Jeff. Thank you
man.
for sharing all of that.
Appreciate you.
We definitely always gonna tell people, you know, you gotta go with elite bodies. Anybody I know, I'm telling them, I don't want to hear you have another trainer. You with elite bodies. You know what I'm saying? Period. So now we're gonna get back into the subject, the topic matter at hand. But before we even do that, I just have to ask a question. You're Ghanaian or whatever.
Yes,
Ghanaian jollof or Nigerian jollof?
I knew you were going.
Okay, let me know what's up.
Oh man.
Let me break this down for you. Y'all Nigerians don't put no respect. Y'all don't put no respect on Ghana Jollof name. That gotta change. Listen, and I'm gonna tell you this.
Oh man.
When my mom makes jollof rice, she does the separate meat where she fries on the side. She has this corned beef thing she mixes in it. The color of the jollof rice is relieving. You look at it, not to get me started about the aroma, because that's on another freaking level. Like, you will get your neighbors smelling, wanting to get a piece of that. This Nigerian jollof, and I have had that, but I'm sorry.
Just to let y'all know, this is all bias right here.
It's okay. It may even be great, but Ghanaian jollof is not on that same scale, y'all.
Oh, okay.
So put some respect on that name.
Okay.
You know Issei?
Who?
Issei. No. Okay. He's from around here.
Okay. Yeah, so back to the whole interaction with you know, parents and the children, and the difference between the different dynamic that white people had from us in that regard. Who wants to pick up where we left off? Anybody, or should I just? Okay, well, you know, we had a couple discussions during the break that we didn't air, but I just really wanted to say we should definitely be teaching. I don't ever want any of this information to seem like we're just pointing out problems. Every time we're doing this podcast, we're trying to supply a solution. So with that being said, I think we run into more problems as a people when we're raising our children in similar manners as white folks, for example. I think we run into more problems when we're trying to emulate that which isn't natural to us. And when I say that, yes, definitely the world has evolved, and we can learn different things from different people, but we have to always extract it and know what we're doing with that. I'm taking this from the Asian because I'm building this African thing. but I utilize some of the knowledge that they had that I didn't previously have. I'm looking at something good that white folks do or whatever, but I'm extracting that in order to, everything is just pieces in order to build the foundations we need. And that's just how I feel about the whole how we should be going forward in terms of what we're teaching our children. But go ahead.
And Zeke, I completely agree with you on that. I think we're supposed to extract these things and use it to our advantage, but not try to make it become us.
Right.
Because again, we're people of different culture, and we don't want to lose ourselves in the process. But what we do want to do is extract, and I think I had pointed that out earlier, where I said there are certain things that I see how white people train and raise their kids in, that we can take that. Now, we're not going to change who we are. We're not going to change our culture and our identity. But there definitely is certain teachings that we can take from them to help ourselves not just raise our kids, but prepare them for the future. Because we have to understand also too that the world that we're in right now wasn't necessarily designed and set up for us. So because of that, we have to take the teachings from the people who created it this way and be able to apply that ourselves.
Right.
And going back to what we were talking on the break, which I wanted to address, was that I do agree with what you're saying, where we're supposed to have our own, but right now to create our own, it would take too much. I think what we should do is saturate the field where they're at. And I think we stand a greater chance of accomplishing things and getting back to where we were supposed to be. Because again, the thousands of years ago when we were dominating the world, they didn't create their own. They took from us. They came and took our information and our resources and did their thing. So it could only work the same way around. We could try and create our own, on our own, with our own, but it's going to be a struggle, as opposed to saturating the field of where they're at. And when I say saturate, I mean absorb all the information we can from them, teach it to our youth, and then encourage our youth to go into the field and dominate and take over.
I would love that if there wasn't, if getting into the field, that barrier was simply a matter of whether you know the information. So like, if I teach my kid this and they have the knowledge to get into this field, then okay, go. It's like, I would be 100% with you. But the barriers to entry are controlled by humans that have constructed a system to where they already know you can teach your kids that. We have the internet and all of that. We should be using that to our advantage. There was a time we couldn't go to schools and all of that. The second they let the first black person, even think about that, they let the first black person go to school. Like, this is how insane this shit is. Right. But as soon as that happened, they already had thought about, wait, what if all of them go to school? What would that result in, or whatever? So they have they have sole control to the gate. They're the gatekeepers. What we have to do is extract that information, and instead of trying to go into their fields and saturating it, which I think will be longer, because they can say, hey, we're only taking 3 black programmers this year. They can say we're taking 100. The saturation level is still dependent on them. But we can learn that information and now use that information in order to build the different things that we need to build. We can start saying, we have a few people that know that. Let's set up a class to where we're charging people and we're teaching more of that. That's already a business right there in and of itself, and it's schooling. You see? But go ahead, Jeff.
What y'all are saying is beautiful, right? And I'm trying to, as you guys are talking, I'm trying to picture, I'm trying to make it very practical. As in, I'm trying to focus my mind on how exactly this will happen, how exactly we saturate a system and feel it till gradually we are in that system, or creating a system. I don't as much see the practical side of it as until we have to start building from the foundation up. Okay, it's in the first question is identify yourself, who you are as a black man. That's the first question. What is your relationship to the outer world? You have to do research. You have to have the numbers. You have to tell me 3 in a million black people work for NASA. Okay, compare the statistics, know the numbers, know the analytics, know how many black people are graduating from school and going here. That's one thing America's known for. We know the numbers of every single thing. Tell me the demographics of black people here. Then we can analyze it. Then we know if we're educating our own and this field just doesn't work for us, then we're going to go here. Then we're going to build our own. Okay, when you, that broader picture, it sounds good in theory. But in order to tackle a solution, oh, fellas, what y'all talking about, the question you're asking, the problem you're asking is a huge problem. Progress takes time. You know who said that the other day? I heard that from Obama just 2 days ago, saying at his rally in Ohio. 3 days ago. He said progress takes time. You're trying to build the progress of an entire culture that has historically been oppressed. Slavery for 400 years and extra. Fellas, yo, think 100 years. Okay, think the research, think the numbers of, okay, if our youth, they're coming out here, where do we place them here? Our inner cities, this is what's going on. What is the standard of your schools compared here? Let's get an independent person to rate this. What are the chances of this person getting this as opposed to this person in life? Have people do the numbers, have people do the analytics, and then bring them to the table and draw up a solution of how to empower people. Don't think about, I agree with you, I agree with the sentiment, but I don't agree with the solution of saying, you know, coming up with building something new. We all live in this one world. There's nothing that's going to be new. Okay, every single thing is going to be a piece from somewhere, inspired by someone. You live in America, that's literally a melting pot. You're not going to live in an isolated world.
And go ahead.
Build on that, and then know it before you can tackle the solution. So the smaller scale is every time we talk about issues like this. Again, what I'm saying to self is not very practical. The one solution we're going to say is we look at ourselves, right? And then that's the hardest thing to do. What are your chances of this out there? You're a black man. What are the odds of you being this? Starting from your own personal life, right? Do the analytics yourself. Do the experimentation on yourself, and then see how when you get out there, what are your chances of making it in your world? And you're not unique. Right, your qualification might just be as somebody else. Your upbringing might just be like somebody else. When you get out in the world, what are your chances of succeeding? What are the opportunities you get? Okay, then you educate people who are coming up, the youth, and that's how you build a culture. Solving this problem is not as easy as identifying it. Everybody identifies. That's what identifying the problem is easy. It's the easiest thing.
Right.
But then solving it from a personal standpoint, that's what takes the labor. And that's the dirty part. That's the part that's not very attractive. That's how we're going to tackle that. So we can get it done. It's going to get done. Why? Because we have to talk about it first. Yeah. Right? And then we can build something that embodies our vision.
And again, I would be with you. But it's just like, for one, we're assuming that the people that have all of this put together haven't planned the next step. We're not just floating in terms of in limbo in terms of when we get certain things together, then we get it together. They're moving forward. The world's moving forward. They're talking about, they're even already doing population control. They're pumping vaccines into people in Africa, so we don't even have the time. That's one. Two, when you were talking about the statistics, though, we have the statistics.
I think we do. Yeah, we do.
Look at how many African people are working at NASA.
A lot of Africans.
You know, when I'm saying that, black, in terms of the total number, it's when you look at any.
So you compare so what you do is you compare that, right? You compare the number of Africans as opposed to other races. You compare qualifications, things like that. It's not just going to be as simple as that. And then again, if you're black and you raised up and you were from the inner city, you didn't go to good school and things like that, chances are you're not going to be working in NASA. So you look at the whole trend. You look at what makes you work in NASA, and then we get to a point where we're all in an even keel and say, hey, look, these are the numbers that we've done it. The system is
how does working at NASA benefit the collective? How does it?
Bro.
And before I let you answer that though, let me just because I definitely want Dre had a lot to say on this too, but the one point I really want to make is like when you're saying it would be hard to create something new. Just having a black community alone, that would be something new. These are things we have to do.
A black community is not something new.
That is something.
That is just false.
That is something.
Very strong.
Name one community that controls the government of that area, the policing, the education, meaning the curriculum, the food, the business. Name one community in this country that's ran by black people that control all that.
That's not what makes a community.
Then what makes it?
You said a black community.
Right.
You said creating a black community is something new. That's nothing new. Let me tell you this. In PG County, there's one neighborhood. This is one of the richest neighborhoods in the country, and it's predominantly black. Mm-hmm. There are areas in California, in Beverly Hills. These are things that are out there.
When you're saying they're predominantly black, Southeast is also predominantly black.
Exactly. But then again, there's gonna be some place where in Arkansas somewhere where most of there'll be a lot of white people who are probably on welfare and things like that.
You know, the only difference between the Southeast people and the people that are living where you were saying they're thriving is the money that they're getting from whoever is paying them. That's it. They still don't control the politics of that place. They don't control the policing, the education.
Who controls the stuff? Sometimes you have to put who controls the stuff. Who's that person? Who's that? Put a name on that person. Put a character.
It's it's white people. We know that. This is America.
Then again, see,
it's global. What do you mean?
You're not breaking it down. It's too simple to say something is just white people.
It's a culture. It's a culture, meaning the fact that if you have a business, right? Me as a black person, it's ingrained for me to maybe have a shorter leash with your business. Let's say you were having also had health supplies, and Lifetime Fitness has health supplies. It's like if I order from Lifetime Fitness and they delay on my order, it's like, oh, I accept it. But now if I'm going through you, my leash is shorter. It's like if you delay on my product for a week.
That goes back to my initial point of saying you have to know your identity. Okay, we have to have you have to recognize your identity as a black man, how it relates to the world. So if you feel like you have a shorter leash, it's up to you to make sure you create a culture. You create a culture of responsibility, for lack of a better word. Man, this word is on my lip, but I just can't find it. You create a culture of competence. Okay, so people can trust you enough. So you get to a point enough when you even miss a day and you delay on order, they're like, that's unlike them. There might be factors going on. So we have to take that. We have to take that and go on. We might be very off topic a little bit, but certain things we have to put a face on it. You just don't say the government and its white people. No,
it's the culture of white supremacy. That solves everything.
Solving that problem. Put a face on it. See exactly what that problem is. See who was at the top. See how that culture got created. See how you're going to break the culture down, and that is how you're going to change the narrative.
So when someone says white supremacy is the problem, and you say you have to put a face on that problem, and they're saying the face I'm putting on the problem is white supremacy, how is that not the face on the problem?
So what you do is you look at the system, right? You look at individual laws, things like that are definitely known to be detrimental to black people. You look at mass incarceration. That's something that Obama himself is fighting to bring down. Things like that are not suppressive black people. Like things like certain things they were doing in North Carolina to suppress the black vote. Certain laws and certain things like that, trace that pattern, and then try to solve the solution. Try to solve the problem. You know what I mean?
We'll get into
good discussion. Good discussion. But to continue on with, the relationship between parents and kids and stuff like that. I think we got to define as a black culture for us and for our kids, we got to define success. And by whose standards, we got to define that too, because the agenda that white folk want to achieve is different than what we want to achieve. So if we are building up our kids to be like them, then it's just another rat race that we're going to be running in. Bob Marley even said this is a rat race. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, we can't try to emulate like them because we're not like them. We got to be different. We are built different. We think different. We have different agendas. We have different missions. So we first got to define what success is, and then we can go that way, because our success, again, is different than other culture's success and what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? So then we can have a firm, foundation on what we want to go. So then nobody's going to stand in our way at that point.
All right, fellas. So I know we're wrapping up in time, and I know we can continue this conversation. We can go with this. We can go with these topics, and then that's why we're here. That's why we keep this going. That's why we have these conversations. So for everyone out there listening, please believe we'll be back. This podcast will keep going, and we're gonna hit on these topics. Also, tell us what you think. Hit us back. Check us out. Black Elephant Podcast. www.bmvmagazineonline.com/the Black Elephant Podcast. Hit us up on email, info.bmvmail@gmail.com. Also, what's the email for the Black Elephant Podcast?
The email is the Black Elephant Podcast @gmail.com, and then the Instagram. Did you give that out already?
No, I ain't give that.
The
out.
Instagram is the Black Elephant Podcast. The Twitter, the DA Black Elephant. Yeah, at the Black Elephant. Yeah.
So we around. You gonna find us if you need us. We around. We easy to find. Also, Jeff, why don't you tell us one more time how we can reach you, Elite Bodies and all that. Give us the information one more time.
Yes. Please check out www.elitebodies.net. You can reach me at bodieselite@gmail.com if you want to email me. And again, if you're on the Apple Store, you want to download my app, or even the Play Store, the App Store, the Play Store. Go and search for Elite Bodies. You see me, and download it. You stay in the loop on any news, any new and cool things I'm working on right now. And you definitely check it out. It's been a pleasure being on Black Elephant Podcast, man. You guys are wonderful. You guys are unique thinking, and I definitely like the ideas, and I learned a lot from you guys today. I really appreciate the opportunity, guys.
Yeah, and I just want to point out too before we go, if you all haven't seen Jeff, and I'm gonna put up some pictures on social media. This dude has won the weight room. Like, he defeated the weight room. Like, so this is the dude that's definitely he gonna train you. He gonna get you right. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, he didn't got it right. So he shook my hand earlier. That was like 3 hours ago. My hand still hurt. So go ahead and check them out, and we're gonna definitely be blasting them as well too, doing everything we can to promote.
And I ain't fucking with Kenny. He never said that about me.
But again, go ahead and check us out. Until next time, remember BMV Magazine. Oh, we got one more. We got one more before we go.
Yeah, I just want to give a quick shout out to this young, beautiful entrepreneur. Her name is Marjorie Kennedy. She developed a kids book, specifically, Callaloo, specifically towards black kids. It has a very nice Caribbean background to it. So please check her out. Her book, you can find her book and more about her at www.callalookids.com. That's www.callalookids.com. She's very smart, wonderful woman, and I keep telling her one day she's going to overtake Oprah.
Okay, bet. Also, too, got to shout out our sponsor, Dis Tent. Don't forget, check them out, Dis Tent online. They're on Facebook, the website, everything. Got your car, even commercial tent, they'll get you right. As always, that's where I take my cars. You never see inside my stuff, trust me, and I don't bubble up. So, again.
Was it 10%?
It's not legal, it's definitely not, they be messing with me, but
definitely shout out Ant Lion. You can catch him at Ant Lion, and also shout out my friends Justin and Will us and keep doing your acting thing.
All right, definitely. So wrap it up. Remember, the Black Elephant Podcast, BMV Magazine, educate and inspire. Peace.
Peace.
money. Pretty money.